moving to Milano in the middle of pandemic, it was a big step. Eden Hazard was my favorite player. The German football is amazing with the fans. They have maybe overall like the best atmosphere and the fullest stadium all around the world. I don't think any player can live up to the expectation of Haaland, and in terms of goal scoring is definitely number one. You have to train more than the other guys. You have to train better than the other guys. You have to avoid going to parties, avoid staying out late with your friends, and you sacrifice a lot to become a professional footballer. But for me, it was always my dream. I'm really happy with the sacrifices that I've made. I still want to be in the national team, and I have to fight for my minutes. I play a lot of chess. I still want to go out again and live in another European city and play at a higher level. Yeah, that's a really tough question.
Good morning, Jens. It's a pleasure to speak with you. How are you doing today?
I'm really fine, thank you. It's a pleasure speaking with you as well.
We've got a lot to discuss. I want to start by going back to the very start. You scored a hat trick on your professional debut for Bodø Glimt. What was it like having the perfect debut and immediately having to deal with this ensuing hype?
Of course, it was a really special day for me and a fantastic start to my professional career. I hadn't trained a lot with the first team before. They decided to first a couple of days earlier. I signed my first professional contract, and they brought me to this away trip in the first round of the cup. And yeah, I was not having any thoughts, or I was not able to hope to get any minutes. And then when he subbed me on, I was only with that really happy. And then of course with scoring 3 goals in the end of the game, it was a special day for me, and not a day I'm forgetting.
Can you talk to me a little bit about your experience growing up in Bodo? I mean, from an outsider's perspective, all that I know is that it's really north. It's pretty much the North Pole. They've got the fjords, obviously. You got the amazing salmon, but I don't really know too much. Can you shed some light on your childhood? And did you always know that you wanted to be a footballer?
Yeah, it was football that I wanted to be when I get older. So that's always been my dream. And yeah, the nature here in Bodø is amazing. We have this special thing that in the summer it's not getting dark, and in the winter it's not getting any sun. So it's special to live above the Arctic Circle. But when me, for example, as a local, I grown up here, so for me it's pretty normal. But I've spoken a lot with people that is coming from maybe Africa or another part of Europe, and hey Jens, when is it getting dark, in the middle of the summer? And I'm saying it's not getting dark, it's sun and midnight sun. So it's a bit strange for people who is not from Bodø, but I enjoy living here.
Jens, it's fair to say that you had kind of a roller coaster start to your career, right? Having that incredible success early on, but then, of course, suffering relegation with your boyhood club and then leading them to promotion. Do you feel like dropping down to Norway's second tier helped you strengthen your abilities and make you a better player?
Yeah, I think so, because in my first year we struggled always in the bottom of the season. We was not having so much ball, we didn't attack so much. It was more about defending and surviving and hoping to get a result. So at that time we had a very young team, so for us to go back and be the best team in the division was maybe good for our careers, because we learned a bit more about taking responsibility and controlling the game, and we could focus more on ourselves and the way we wanted to play. So of course relegating was one of the hardest things I've gone through in football wise, but yeah, I think it made the whole club like in the end it was one step back and then 3-4 in front. So
And it's fair to say you guys haven't looked back since then. You almost feel like Bodø Glimt needed to suffer relegation, needed to, suffer those lows in order to be where it is today, right? Dominating the domestic league, becoming a perennial contender. You feel like for them, it was definitely darkest before the dawn.
yeah, I think so. I think the club used the time in the second division really well. We found our identity, and they find the path forward. And as you said, we haven't looked back since, and we developed ourselves over a lot of years, and now we can show also in the Europa League and Conference League the years before that that we have something to do also against the best teams.
How would you describe yourself as a footballer? What would you say your main attributes are? And were there any players who you looked up to growing up?
Yeah, when I get a little bit older and start understanding more about football, Eden Hazard was my favorite player when he moved to Chelsea, and the way he yeah, was having fun while dribbling and scoring against the best teams in England. It was special for me, and I wanted to be a player like him. So I would describe myself as an offensive player, good one against one, creating chances for my teammates and also myself.
For sure. And you went to Milan in October 2020. What was it like leaving your homeland in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic and starting a new life for yourself in Italy? What were the main differences between the Elite Serie and Serie A, but also what were the main differences between Norwegian and Italian culture that you had to adapt to?
Yeah, it was a big change for me. Of course, back then Bodø was not was not anything near AC Milan in terms of size of the club, size of city. The way we live here in Bodø, I think it's way more simple and easy. We are not used to so much, and then of course moving to Milano in the middle of a pandemic, it was a big step, but also made who I am to today. I needed to make sure that I was doing okay and take more care of myself as a person. So it was a big step, but it was a really good step, and I'm glad I made it.
And you left Milan after just a few months. Are there any things that you regret about your time there? Looking back on it, if you had to go back to Milan, are there any things that you would do differently?
Yeah, of course. I think it's always easy to go back and said I would change that or I would change that. But at the time, I was really happy there. I was doing the best I could in the beginning. I was scoring goals. I was helping the team, playing a lot, and then of course. Uh, in the months before the summer, I didn't experience so much playing time and more minutes on the bench, and it made me maybe a little bit more stressed than I should have been. And then we made the decision of going to Frankfurt. At that time, I was feeling it was the perfect step for me. They had a clear vision, a good plan for me, and I don't regret anything. But of course, I could have been maybe more patient because I was at such a good space in such a big club. But in the end, I was happy with the decision we made, and also I can look back at the time in Milan, and yeah, I'm happy with how I spent my months there.
And you had the chance to go to the Bundesliga and play for Eintracht Frankfurt. What do you think you learned the most from your time in Germany? And overall, how special was it to be able to win the Europa League title?
No, the first of all, the German football is amazing with the fans. They have the maybe overall like the best atmosphere and the fullest stadium all around the world. You see now also in the second Bundesliga with the clubs who is there, they always fills up the stadium with up to 80,000 in second division. So the fans and the culture there was amazing, and the club also is really well driven. It's a good club. It's a good place to be, and with the memories of the Europa League trophy in 2022, it was really special for me.
I believe there is a decent chance of you guys potentially facing Eintracht in the following round of the Europa League. Obviously, still a lot of work before that happens, but how exciting would that be, potentially going up against your former club?
Yeah, it's of course games with a lot of emotions. I spent a lot of years there. I know all the players and the fans and the people around the club. So of course it's going to be special if that's happened. But I think for now we have to focus on the Lazio games because it's going to be two really tough matches. Of course, also Frankfurt has tough games with Tottenham, but yeah, if it's happening, it's going to be really exciting for me.
You played under a lot of top quality managers. Where does Oliver Glasner rank amongst them? How special was he for your development?
No, I mean he was maybe the biggest reason why I actually went to Frankfurt because I really liked his identity, the way he speaks and understands football, and he's a top coach. I also had the pleasure of meeting him again now with Bodo when we faced Crystal Palace in a friendly. So it was nice to catch up with him. We also exchange some messages once in a while just to catch up and see. Uh, but yeah, he was a really good coach, and the way he was preparing our matches and match plans, it was really exciting and interesting to see how hard he's working and how much he put into it.
As you know, your international teammate Erling Haaland is out for the rest of the season. As someone who's played with Omar Marmoush at Eintracht and Haaland with Norway, I don't think there's a single person in the world who's better suited to asking this. But everybody wants to know: can Marmoush fill Haaland's void for the final months of the season? I'm curious. What did you make of Marmoush during your brief time together, and overall? Do you think that he's equipped to fill Haaland's void and potentially become a success at Manchester City?
Yeah, as you said before, I don't think any player can live up to the expectation of Haaland, and in terms of goal scoring, is definitely number one. But Marmoush can do it well. I think he's a bit different striker than Haaland. He can do a little bit more on his own, maybe. But it will be really exciting to see how he's filling the gap. I don't know if Haaland is out for the rest of the season. Personally, I think he's going to be back, but I'm not sure. I didn't speak with him about that. But of course, Marmoush is a quality player, and his numbers in Frankfurt talks for himself. So they have a good man to rely on there.
You spent the 2022-23 season at Ghent. What stands out to you most from your time in Belgium? Overall, how do you think your experience went there?
When you look back at it was of course not a successful spell, but I mean I went through a period there where I didn't play as much football that I was hoped or told when when I decided to go there. But at the same time, I was then just feeling and getting the feeling that football is the thing that I want. I really want to succeed and play football and be an important guy for a team. So in the end, I was happy with my time there because I had more time to work on myself and develop some different attributes, and yeah, just having the feeling that football is the thing that I want, and I really have to work for it now.
And then, of course, going back to Eintracht, trying to make it work there. How do you think it was going back to Eintracht in the first half of the 23-24 season?
No, I mean, it was great to come back. I was feeling that I had a different start there, a different preseason, and people was really happy with the shape I was in when I got back. My physical form was outstanding, and I was really hoping that I would have a breakout season there. Uh, but yeah, then obviously they also have a lot of good players who was fighting for the minutes that I also wanted, and you see how good Marmoush did. So it was not easy to take his spot. So when January comes and the option to go back to Bodø, it was feeling right at that point of my career, and it was an important decision for me.
Yeah, and let's talk about that. I mean, they say that the sequel is never as good as the original, but I don't think that's necessarily true with you and Buddha. Going back to Buddha in January, and then of course recently being acquired on a permanent deal there. What has it been like coming back to your hometown? And overall, why did you decide to head back to your boyhood club?
First of all, because I got like I didn't play as much for the last 2 3 seasons that I wanted, and that I needed to take my next step. Uh, Also in Bodø, I had the chance to still play in Europa, and that is a place where I still can show people that I have my level. My level is good. My skills are good enough if I just have the confidence, and in a system where I can have the freedom that I have. So to to go back to Bodø to get my minutes back and to show people that I'm still a really good footballer. I still have what it takes to play at the European level. It was important for me, and I'm also happy that I took this opportunity.
At what point did you realize that football was going to be more than a hobby? It could be a career, something that could put food on the table.
I mean, it's difficult to say, but I remember the first time I was called up for under 15 national team, and yeah, when I went there and like had the feeling that okay, I'm among the 25 or 20 best players at my age group. It was like a big inspirational, and when you're that close, you obviously just need to make sure that you're using the next year's good. You have to train more than the other guys. You have to train better than the other guys. You have to avoid going to parties, avoid staying out late with your friends, and you sacrifice a lot uh, to become a professional footballer. But for me, it was always my dream, and it was always what I wanted. So I'm really happy with the sacrifices that I've made uh, upon my early years, my teenager years. Uh, of course, I missed out on a lot of fun things. It was always uh, a little bit boring to come back on school on Monday morning, and the 20 other people in the class was speaking about the weekend, what they did Friday, what they did Saturday, how they didn't even get up out from bed on Sundays. But it's part of the life, and I'm really happy with the way I went, and yeah, the choices that I made.
When you do go to a new club, it's so important to, hit the ground running. You had the chance to do that in your return to Bodø Glimt, grabbing an assist in each of your first two matches against Ajax. How important was it, having that great start and overall just restoring your confidence in your hometown club?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great start for me. Of course, it was a bit uh, punch in the face that we didn't beat Ajax and went through, but still I was feeling like my fitness level was good. I also contribute with assists, so scoring goals later on. So it was good to get that good start and just feel that I'm still a good player and just kept on working from there.
And at 25 years old, do you feel like you're in the best form of your career right now?
I think I'm going into it now. I think my next 2 3 years is gonna be where I'm physical at my best, where I'm mature and my fitness is at a peak performance maybe, and hopefully that will result in some good years and finding the timing to maybe go out again and try myself in a top five league again, because that's something that I always wanted to do.
And what do you feel like are the biggest things that you need to improve on as a player in order to return to a top five league, but actually make a lasting impact?
No, I just need to keep working hard and playing my game, because my game is good enough, and maybe I have to be a little bit more consistent. I think that's what all coaches and all club directors want when they are bringing in new players, that they want to make sure that the player is overall at a good level, and then of course every players goes through up and downs. But yeah, if I am able to make sure that my down period is lesser and my best periods are more often, that would help a lot of teams.
And you are one of the few players in the Norway team that's actually playing domestically. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe your biggest competitor to a place in the starting lineup is Andreas Schjelderup. I'm curious, do you have any relationship with Andreas, and what do you make of him and his performance at Benfica?
Yeah, we also have Nusa in
Right, of
there.
course.
Yeah, he's injured now, but both of them are really good players. I know them really well. Sheldrup is from the same town as me, so uh, yeah, we know each other really well. We see each other when he's home here, and also spending time with him now in the latest national team camp. So they are all amazing players. They are really young, and they've been through a lot already. So I'm sure that they will keep improving, and that's also putting a lot of pressure on me, because I still want to be in the national team, and I have to fight for my minutes there, and in the end it's going to be really tough, even making the squad. So that's a big motivation for me.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy competing against players like Nusa and Sheldrup who are playing in perennial Champions League teams like Leipzig and Benfica. But if you had to make your case, your argument to the national team coach of why you should be a starter in the team, why what would it be?
Of course, I always believe in my attributes and qualities, and I've shown recently also against Porto and other big European clubs that I still have my level. Maybe I'm a little bit different from those two, so that can be my argument, that in a 25-man squad, maybe I'm a bit different and can improve and help the team in other situations.
Bodø hadn't won a single league title in their entire history until your 2020 season, where you were voted as the Eliteserien Young Player of the Year. How special was it to lead your hometown club to their first ever championship? Would you consider that the best moment of your career so far?
Of course, it was special winning the league there. But if it's the proudest or biggest achievement in my career, I'm not sure. I think maybe still I would put the Europa League title above that. But the period was amazing, and yeah, the feeling that we did it with small Bodø back then. Of course, now everyone expect Bodø to win the league, and we won 4 out of the last 5 times. I say we, but I was not there for 3 of them or 2 of them, uh, but yeah, it was special.
And as you just mentioned, Bodø have won three more league titles, and they've also emerged as a team that consistently makes deep runs in Europe. Seems like they're doing a very good job on and off the pitch. Just looking at this background, it looks like an amazing club headquarters. I'm curious, as someone who has spent so much time there, what do you think are the biggest secrets behind their ability to punch above their weight and enjoy consistent success? What have been the biggest keys for them to not only become the perennial champions of Norway, but a team that's going to go consistently far in European competition?
I mean, we also always secure in the way we want to play. We don't care who we play or where we play. We want to play our game, and we trust ourselves. The coach have a lot of trust in the players, and the players trust a lot in the coach. So we focus more on ourselves, and we always want to develop our game. And yeah, I think that's the biggest factor, because we always try to develop our own game.
Who's the toughest player you faced in your entire career?
Yeah, that's a really tough question. Hmm. I mean, the biggest one I face is of course Cristiano Ronaldo when he was at Juventus, but we didn't play like direct against each other because we are both attackers. So uh, yeah, the Ligt was really tough. I faced him both with Juventus and also Bayern Munich. So yeah, maybe I go for him.
Interesting. Bodo have reached the quarterfinals of a European competition just once when they lost to Roma in the Europa League. 3 years later, you're facing Roma's crosstown rivals Lazio in the same exact stage. How do you like your chances going into this match?
No, I think the chances are always there in football. It's the one of the beauties about the game. When the referee blows the whistle, everything about size of the city or where you're from, it doesn't matter. It's 11 against 11. So I think we have good chances. Of course, it's going to be a even and tough match, but the chances are there. Uh, and I think they have more to fear and lose than we have. They've been mocking the Roma fans and players for 4 or 5 years now, because they lost 6-1 here, and now they have the chance to lose also them. So I think they have more to fear and lose than we have. So we just need to focus on ourselves, forget that we're playing a quarterfinal in the Europa League, and do our best.
Talk to me a little bit about your relationship with Kjetil Knutsen. Do you feel like his style has allowed you to express your best football? And overall, what are the main things that he asks of you on the pitch?
Yeah, first of all, we have a really good relationship. We are really straight up and honest with each other when we discuss things. He also allows me to speak back and tell my point of the case, and maybe why I do the things that I do. So we have like a mutual respect for each other's. He also values my quality super high, and it gives me a lot of confidence that he is putting his trust and and really want me to succeed. So yeah, he's a good coach, and he's of course one of the reasons why my development has been so good.
You've made 13 appearances for Norway and even played in their last two matches. How big of an honor has it to be able to, consider yourself one of the 23 or so best players in Norway and represent your national team?
Yeah, it's the biggest every footballer can do to represent our country and go out there and fight with the other best players from Norway. So I was almost 2.5 years not in the national team, and then when I got back to Bodø, they nominated me back again, and it was also like a big clap on the shoulder for me and the job that I've done the last year.
And if Norway are to qualify for next year's World Cup, you'd imagine Martin Ødegaard will have a big role to play. What has your relationship been like with Martin? Where do you rank him amongst the best attacking midfielders in Europe?
Yeah, he's definitely up there. He's such a big talent, and now he's also been like mature and adult. So to see him from his early days in Strømsgods, the way he went to Real Madrid, debut at Norwegian national team at 15, it's so inspirational. And with him and also Erling, they are leading the way for us others Norwegians, because they already show that it's possible to come from Norway and dominate the top level of football.
You know, Martin has shown that progress isn't always linear. I think that's been the case with you. Overall, starting off being regarded as one of the top players, then going to Europe, and now being back here. Just how much more confident do you feel in your overall game?
Yeah, I've been through a lot in my career, so I think it made me a bit stronger, and I'm not so easy affected of having difficulties. And yeah, I think I have a lot of benefits from that now.
And we've talked about how much you enjoy playing with Bodø, but in terms of off the pitch, what do you like the most about living in Bodø? What are your favorite things to do there?
I mean, here I have my network also without football. I have friends that I went to school with, and they don't know anything about football. So that's obviously great. I also have my family close here, and the nature is beautiful. So to go out in the fresh weather, it's good.
Are you living alone or with family or no?
Yeah, I'm living alone. Yeah.
Oh, okay. No Norwegian team has ever advanced past the quarterfinals of any European competition. How big of a goal is it for you to make history for your club and country? And overall, what do you think are going to be the biggest things for you as you look to get a result against Lazio?
Yeah, yeah, it's of course we don't think so much about making history, and that no other Norwegian team has done it before. But obviously, it's going to be a fantastic match, and two great matches. And if we make the way past Lazio, it's going to be another two beautiful games where we can yeah, develop ourselves and let the fans yeah, enjoy a European top match. So it's just important for us to keep playing those matches, because that's the matches where we grow the most.
You've already played in Germany, Italy, and Belgium. Do you feel any desire to leave for another top five league, or right now, do you feel comfortable spending another few years at Bodø before going to another league?
Yeah, of course. Now after I signed my new deal here, Bodø is the place where I want to be for the next few years. But I still want to go out again and live in another European city and play at a higher level. I think every player wants that, and it didn't change for me, despite that I came back to Bodø now.
They say that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Can you think of any moments of adversity that have forced you to become a better footballer and overall a better human being?
I don't know any specific moments, but of course, in periods where you don't play so much, and life is not so easy as maybe at other periods, you just have the feeling of that football is what you really want to do, and then you just have to bite your teeth together and fight for your spot and your minutes and keep developing.
And the Eliteserien season just started this past weekend. How big of a difference is it to, in comparison to Belgium, Germany, or Italy, to have such a massive winter break? And overall, what are your biggest goals for this season at a collective and individual level?
Yeah, yeah, it's a little bit different system than the other top five or European leagues, but now when we are back underway, it's a good feeling for us, and I think we have to be fair and say that we are the favorites. We should keep developing and winning the league also this year. So we are aiming for that, and for me as a yeah, yeah, sorry. And yeah, for me as personal, I don't have so many goals other than I want to keep improving and helping the team every day.
We know that Bodo can produce some very good footballers, but it seems like they also care about producing people with values, with intellect. Can you talk to me a little bit about the club's morals and just what are the values that they try to inculcate into their players?
Yeah, of course it's important here, and yeah, I've been a Bodø boy for my whole year. I came to the club when I was 12 years old, and we always had the focus on being a nice person, and that we respect each other, and yeah, just try to be against others as you want others to be against yourself. So I think anyway, what you're doing in life or in football, it should stay in the back of your head to just be a nice person and be good around with the people around you.
And it does seem also that one of the biggest reasons behind their success is having such a passionate fan base. I know that they bring toothbrushes to every game. I'm not sure the story behind that, but overall, what has your relationship been like with the fan base, and how important are they for your confidence?
No, of course they are really important, and the way that they are supporting us and that they are spending money on away games and just using their time to follow us. It's a big motivation for us, and yeah, it's really important to have them there and feel that you are playing for maybe some other than yourself.
It's obvious that you are one of the most indispensable players in this Bodo Glimt team. Why why do you think that Knutsen trusts you so much and plays you week in, week out? What do you think are the biggest things that you offer the team that they can't do without?
First of all, I've known Knutsen for many years. We started working together back in 2017, so we know each other very well. And yeah, I think he likes the fact that I'm an offensive player who don't care so much about the stadiums we're playing in or against who we play. I always want to play my game, and that I don't fear anyone.
What's one thing about Jens Petter Hauge that most people would be surprised to know?
Mm, it's a good question. Mm, yeah, I don't know, but
One thing that you like to do in your free time.
yeah, I was about to say that I play a lot of chess, and yeah, I like to play chess.
Wow, that is quite eye-opening. Very interesting. I know that Bodø they've lost like I think 2 games in Europa League this season. One of them to Manchester United, where Rasmus Højlund scored a brace. What have you made of Rasmus? Obviously, another promising Scandinavian forward like yourself. How do you rate him?
No, I mean he's a really exciting player, and he's a top talent. Of course, it's not easy going to Manchester United. I was so lucky that I played with his brother now in Frankfurt when I was back there for a few weeks, and of course we spoke a lot, and yeah, I believe that he has a lot of football still to play, and yeah, he's promising.
And you look at the teams in the Europa League right now, teams like Lyon, Manchester United, like teams that are in what we'll say the biggest leagues in the world. Bodø, they're kind of you get the sense that they're kind of the underdogs, almost like the fish out of water. How awesome is it to be able to reach such an advanced stage whilst playing in Norway? You've had the chance to play in some bigger leagues, but now you're in your own national league and representing not just your club but your nation.
No, it's amazing, and as I said before, it's one of the most beautiful things about football that no matter how small the town you're from, and how cold it is here during the winter, like when the ref blows its whistle and it's 11 against 11, everything can happen if we just believe in ourselves and trust the people around us. So it's amazing, and yeah, it's really. I think it's inspiring for other Norwegian clubs to see that it's possible if you just dare to play and develop the team.
Jens, I know you got to run soon, but I want you to promise me one thing. I've been saying for the past 5 years that this Norway team is far too talented to continue missing out on major tournaments. Can you promise me that you're going to do everything you can to get Norway to the World Cup? Overall, what do you make of your team's chances to get to next year's World Cup? And yeah, how confident are you of qualifying for the tournament?
Yeah, first of all, I can promise you that me, myself, and the rest of the team and the coaching staff in the national team are doing everything we can to make sure that Norway going to a major tournament again. Now, up next is the World Cup in America. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be one of the coolest tournaments, I think. And we started really well with two victories now in the qualification. So hopefully we can build on that in the next match against Italy, and then we have Estonia away. And I think everything is up for grabs for us because, as you said, the team is so talented, and the young Norwegian players now are playing at the best leagues and in the best teams. So we will try our best, and I'm confident that we will make it, but we have to see in the end.
Jens, thank you so much for your time. I'm rooting for you to not only get to the World Cup, but reach the Europa League semifinals. And I know you're going to do everything you can to get there. But yeah, it was an absolute pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you. Huh? I really enjoyed it. Huh?